If you're the owner of the most dangerous rap group in the world, never, I repeat, never attack the guy who writes your lyrics, or the consequences could be irreparable. This is the story of NWA and how the rapper Ice Cube destroyed his 4 former group members in a single song. I'm Guilherme, and today I'm going to reveal the story behind the song No Vaseline, and analyze the lyrics here on the Decipher Hits channel.
Goddamn, I'm glad y'all set it off. Used to be hard, now you just...
No Vaseline is not just a song. It's the pure essence of the pent-up anger of a rapper who, besides feeling cheated by his own friends, was unfairly labeled a traitor in this whole story. When the young O'Shea Jackson, known as Ice Cube, joined the group NWA in '86, he saw it as a chance to take off in his career as a rapper. But he had no idea about the big problem that was coming. We've already explained the group's story in the video about Eazy-E, but to understand the beef in No Vaseline, all you need to know is that NWA was an influential rap group from the late '80s with the following standout members: Dr. Dre, who was the guy producing the beats, Eazy-E, who was the head of the group, and Ice Cube, who wrote most of the lyrics. The group's chemistry started out perfect, and they quickly became a real hit machine, setting the direction for hip-hop as it moved into the '90s.
It's all about making that GTA, because the boys in the hood are always hard.
However, after the success of Boys in the Hood, things were getting bigger and bigger. So quickly that they would need the support of a professional to manage the group's business. And that's when, in March of '87, through some contacts, Eazy met the manager Jerry Heller, a guy experienced enough to finally help the group really take off. But at the same time, he would become the catalyst for a major conflict involving the whole group. In August of '88, they managed to release their first album, Straight Outta Compton, which gained a level of fame never before reached by hip-hop. With Ice Cube writing most of the songs, the album served to reaffirm the rapper's incredible lyrical ability, which sparked debates about the reality of the black community in the United States, both in a positive and a negative way.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
You should know about the impact of the songs from Straight Outta Compton on the black community.
But in the midst of so much success, something didn't smell right among the members of NWA. The thing is, the payments were way below what was expected, and Ice Cube was one of the first to get suspicious about all of this. It was in '89 during a group tour that some representatives from Priority Records met with NWA to give them the long-awaited platinum record. As a prize for selling over 1 million copies of the album Straight Outta Compton, and along with the record, each of the members was going to receive a check for $75,000, which was an incredible amount of money for them at the time. But there was a catch to all of this. In the eyes of the law, they still weren't officially a group, so they would only be entitled to the money if they signed a contract with the label that Jerry Heller and Eazy-E had founded, Ruthless Records. Even without understanding anything about contracts, faced with so much money, they all signed immediately except for Ice Cube, who wanted first of all to show the paperwork to the lawyer he had hired without anyone knowing. For this reason, he asked Jerry to send the contract to his mother's house, since he didn't understand that language. To his surprise, Jerry refused, claiming that Cube could trust him. Ice Cube then at least asked for the money in advance, since he had worked for it. But Jerry's answer didn't please him at all.
Caught Jerry Heller, Eazy-E with their hands in the cookie jar. And I was willing to say, fuck it. I caught y'all, just pay me what you owe me and we can keep on rolling. But, they wanted to save face. They felt like if they paid me, they would have to pay everybody else. They basically said, fuck you, nigga, what are you gonna do? Go solo?
And that's exactly what he did. On December 23, 1989, Ice Cube officially broke away from NWA and began his relentless solo career, while the group was about to feel the strong effects of losing their greatest lyricist. With the news of his departure, the media and the public were eager to know, will NWA maintain its quality without Ice Cube? Was the split peaceful, or is a war about to start? The truth is that, although quite outraged, Cube still held strong respect for the members of his former group, including Eazy-E, whom he felt was being manipulated by Jerry Heller. So much so that even after leaving the group, Cube still reached out to Dr. Dre, interested in having him produce some beats for his new project. And even though Dr. Dre agreed, Eazy-E and Jerry Heller soon vetoed this collaboration. Cube then gathered some friends and formed the iconic group Lent Mob, which also had as a lyricist Cube's cousin, Del Tha Funky Homo Sapien, the same one who rapped on some Gorillaz songs. One of the most popular hits from the Lent Mob group, Gorillas in the Mist, was even part of the soundtrack for GTA San Andreas. However, what the audience was most looking forward to was a solo project from Cube. That changed on May 16. 1990, he finally released his debut album, the acclaimed America's Most Wanted, which featured production by Bomb Squad, the same production team behind the hits of the iconic group Public Enemy. The album was an incredible success with both the public and critics, receiving platinum certifications and establishing Cube as one of the greatest rappers in the scene. But this still wasn't the time when the public and the media got what they wanted, since the album didn't have any diss tracks aimed at NWA.
I mean, if you listen to America's Most Wanted, I don't talk about NWA, I don't mention NWA, Eazy-E, there's no diss, and that album was the next one to come out after Straight Outta Compton.
However, that peace wouldn't last for long, and just 3 months after Cube's album was released, NWA released the EP 100 Miles and Running, something like running more than 100 miles. The title track criticized the police and the FBI for opening an investigation against NWA because of the lyrics of "Fuck the Police," a song from the time when Cube was still in the group. But right at the end of the track, NWA also took the opportunity to send a jab at Cube. We started with 5, but then he couldn't handle it. So now we're 4, because he couldn't make it. On another track from the same EP, in the song Real Negus, they sent another slightly harsher jab, basically calling Ice Cube a traitor.
We started out with too much cargo, so I'm glad we got rid of Benedict Arnold, yo.
We started out carrying a lot of weight, so I'm glad we got rid of Benedict Arnold. Benedict Arnold was the American military officer who betrayed the United States by joining England during the War of Independence. Even so, Ice Cube still wasn't willing to take this fight seriously. So, just for the record, he gave his first response at the end of that year, with a slight jab at NWA in a single line within the song, "Jacking for Beats."
If I jack you and you keep coming, I have you march 100 miles and run.
If I jack you and you keep coming back, I'm gonna make you suckers run more than 100 miles. Up to that point, it was all just slight jabs, and it seemed like this beef wasn't going to escalate into anything more serious. But in May 1991, NWA released their highly anticipated second album, Negus for Life, the first after Cube left. With most of the lyrics written by MC Ren, NWA didn't hold back and filled the album with heavy attacks against Cube, showing that the beef was much more serious than everyone thought. Since besides taking more shots on the song Real Niggas, they made more attacks on the track Always Into Something.
Got in the bins and said, Ray, I was speaking to your bitch, oh shit.
But the heaviest attack of all was undoubtedly the track Message to BA, which wasn't really a song, but more like a sketch with recordings of several people bad-mouthing and cursing Ice Cube. The track starts with Dr. Dre saying, "A message to the traitor. No matter how tough you try to be, this is what they think of you."
This last sentence
Was copied from an Ice Cube song, A Turn of the Radio, from his first solo album, and it just shows that NWA was willing to use Cube's own material against him. Besides that, even though this Cube song wasn't a diss or a jab at NWA in it, Cube criticized black people who sold out to white businessmen in the music industry, making softer songs to stay relevant and get radio play, instead of staying true to the harsh, aggressive reality of gangsta rap. It's possible that NWA took this song as a jab at them, and that's why they put that line in Message to BA. As if it wasn't already a terrible idea to attack Ice Cube like that, they did it at the worst possible moment. Cube was under extreme stress. He had just destroyed the entire Priority Records office with a baseball bat because the company was refusing to pay the advance for the sales of his first album, money that Cube needed since his son was about to be born. One of the label managers had access to NWA's diss track before it was released, and invited Cube for a boat ride so he could calm him down and tell him about the diss before everyone else. As you can imagine, that didn't help much. He got extremely angry and told the boat to turn back immediately. He went straight home and prepared his crushing response in the form of a song, which became known by many as the greatest diss track in hip-hop history, the track No Vaseline. The song starts by playing excerpts from the very same message to B.A. But this time, Cube turned the attack around, interspersing the original audio with new recordings from NWA themselves, from several people cursing the group in his own voice saying, "This is what they think of you."
They think of you. Then
This is what they think of you.
Here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you.
Right after, Cube comes in with a heavy flow.
God damn, I'm glad y'all set it up.
Damn, I'm glad you guys started this. You used to be tough, now you're all soft. It used to be all about guns, and now you make videos with Michelle. Michelle is an R&B singer and was Dr. Dre's wife at the time. Cube accuses NWA of losing their gangsta essence by appearing in the singer's romantic music videos, like in Something in My Heart. After NWA's success, some of the members left Compton to live in more upscale cities in California. Cube also criticizes this in this line.
I ain't got balls to stomp it while y'all motherfuckers move straight out of Compton.
I kept killing it while you guys left Compton. In early '91, Eazy-E bought a mansion in Calabasas, California, just 2 houses down from his manager Jerry Heller.
Living with the whites, one big house.
Living with white people, a huge mansion, and no other black people around. Then he takes the opportunity to reference the track Real Niggas, saying, I started out with a heavy load, dropped 4 guys, and now I'm making all the money. The white man is running everything. Niggas with attitude? Who are they fooling? And he also mentions the track 100 Miles and Running. You ran 100 miles, but there's still one left. The second verse is all focused on MC Ren, whom Cube calls a villain, one of his nicknames. I tried to warn you last year, but Willie D told me to let the bitches act like bitches. This last sentence is a reference to the song Let a Hoe Be a Hoe by rapper Willie D.
You gotta let a hoe be a hoe.
Cube also says that MC Rain is a slave to his manager Jerry Heller. Don't believe what Rain says. He walks around like Kunta Kinte, but he's got a whip for you, Toby. Kunta Kinte is the main character of a miniseries from the 70s. He was a slave who was given a new name, Toby, but he refused to answer to that name and was beaten because of it.
House nigga gotta run and hide.
The house Negro has to run and hide, shouts Compton, but moved to Riverside. House Negro refers to the enslaved people who lived in the enslaver's house, and Riverside is an upscale and predominantly white city, which MC Rain moved to in '89. Stop being fake. I remember when you used to drive that B210 broke as hell. Cube had known MC Rain since he was really poor and drove a Datsun B210, a cheap car from the 70s that even appears in some scenes of the movie Straight Outta Compton. The third verse starts with Cube repeating the phrase 3 times.
I never had dinner
With the president. Here he goes back to criticizing Eazy-E, who in March of '91 was invited to a dinner organized by President George Bush. The invitation was sent by mistake, but even so, Eazy-E attended the event. And even though he denied having any political involvement with the Republicans and said he was just testing the system, Cube and many others thought that Eazy had sold out. I heard you guys share the same bank account. You idiot, what were you thinking? Eazy-E still didn't have a bank account when he started to become successful. In '88, Jerry Heller took Eazy-E to the bank and taught him how to open an account. Cube accused Jerry of having free access to Eazy's bank account, information that was confirmed years later by some affiliates of Ruthless Records. And of course, the main figure behind all this conflict couldn't be left out of the track. Jerry Heller was the guy who took the harshest shots on the track. Cube humiliated and threatened him with lines that we can't even put in this video. But what we can say is that things got to the point where the Jewish community in the United States intervened, accusing Cube of anti-Semitism, since Jerry Heller was Jewish. Despite these strong attacks, NWA never responded to the track No Vaseline, and they couldn't have anyway since the group was about to break up. Over the years, Cube ended up making peace with his former group mates, even releasing some hits with them. In fact, in 2016, some of the members of NWA reunited in California to receive the honorable induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. However, a lot has happened. Before they reached this moment of peace, since No Vaseline wasn't the last chapter of this beef, in '92, Dr. Dre would leave NWA for the same reasons as Ice Cube. But this detail made him unleash all his anger against Eazy-E, and this time with the support of a new face in the rap scene, Snoop Dogg. Just click on this video here to see how this story continues. That's it for now. Thank you very much for staying with us, and see you next time.